Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Dr. Tom's Tips on Tuesdays at 10. This is Zyra's Rolando Mia, and we have Dr. Tom Hirsch. The topics for tips today, Dr. Tom, is using Isolite with digital scanning. Good morning, Dr. Hirsch. How the heck are you?
Good morning, Rolando. You know what? I couldn't be any better. It's sunny. I'm in Malibu. How can I complain? except my implant patient just canceled on me, so I got lots of time today. You know, she's all worried about COVID, and my schedule's just dropping like flies right now. But that's okay. You know, it'll be another day. So we're having a great time today. So we're going to talk about what are we talking about today, Rolando?
So, what tips do you have for our regarding utilizing Isolite with digital scanning?
Digital scanning. Okay. So Tom's tips for digital scanning. Well, first of all, Tom's telepathy tells me that by 2030, it's a good one. Maybe it's 2033 because they're all on T's. By 2033, 95% of all the impressions will be digital. So guys, get ready. You're going to have to learn, and you're going to have to invest in some type of a digital machine. What I have found it so nice and easy. If I'm sending something to the laboratory, I don't have to take impressions. And so this really just dovetails right into what we're going to talk about today. Impression taking is going to become a thing of the past. You're going to save a ton of money on impression taking. It's just going to be what you're going to want to do. So first of all, let's talk about this. Isolite works perfectly well with any type of 3D scanner, any type of CAD/CAM scanner. It works with CEREC, the Blue Cam, the OmniCam, the Prime Scan. It works with 3Shape. It works with iTero. It works with CareScreen, PlanMeca, Dental Wings. All of these different scanners, and there's going to be dozens of more that are going to come onto the landscape here because it's so easy and it's so nice. So first of all, CEREC works with everything. So that's the first tip. You can use it with anyone. The second tip, and I'm going to pitch a product right now. The second tip, and here, you guys ready for the big product pitch? Here it comes. Da-da-da-da-da! Vaseline. That is Tom's second tip of the day. Things have to be lubricated. They have to be slippery. If you have an Isolite in the mouth and you're trying to scan and it's not wet and it's not lubricated, the head of the scanning device, the head of the CEREC or the 3Shape or the iTero, is going to rub across and hit on the, I've got my scanner right here. It's going to hit right here, and it's just not gonna slide very easily. So what I do is I take a little coating of Vaseline. My assistant does this just immediately before I start scanning, and we just rub a little bit of Vaseline just on the back side, not the lens side, obviously, but on the back side of the camera, so that we can go ahead. And that way, when it rubs across the Isolite mouthpiece, it just slips and slides. It's really just a nice slip and slide. And when this is in the mouth, and I'm going to put this in my mouth in just a second, when this is in the mouth, you can actually use this as a bracing device just to slide across it. It really works out terrifically. So that's the second tip, Vaseline. The third tip is you want to have the patient's lips relaxed. So even though we use a large mouthpiece in here sometimes when we're scanning, instead of, bigger is better. No, sometimes smaller is actually better because they're at a more closed vertical. The tongue is out of the way more, and you can actually stretch the lips a little bit wider, which is really, thank you. I like that one. So you can actually stretch the lips a little bit wider when this is scanned. So give me just a moment. We're going to try something here.
Oh, you're going to scan yourself. This is awesome. Wow, you got nice teeth.
Uh-huh. It's not picking up right now, and that doesn't really matter. The point is that is just super, super to scan. You know what? I'm going to make this happen. Hang on. I'm going to. I'm just going to make this one happen.
So while you're doing that, first tip, it will work with any of the digital scanning systems. That's great to know. Second tip, a little bit of Vaseline or lubricant will let it slide so that you this. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. I wonder if you would do it with dentistry on yourself. That would be pretty cool.
Okay, so let's get that up a little bit closer. So anyway, I just scanned that. You know, I'm doing it blind. I'm looking at this screen and scanning behind me, but it's just that nice and it's that terrific when you're scanning. Because what didn't I have to worry about? I didn't have to worry about my lip. I didn't have to worry about my tongue. I didn't have to worry about saliva. I didn't have to worry about anything getting fogged up. My assistant didn't have to be in there getting things out of the way. It just made it super, super easy and incredibly accurate. Okay, so design the restoration, go to the milling machine or send it to your laboratory. I mean, within 15 minutes or within 10 minutes of scanning something, it's in the laboratory and they're already starting to work on it. I mean, it's crazy good and crazy easy. Okay, so Isolite works with any of the 3D scanners. Use a smaller mouthpiece because you want them at a more close vertical. You can use a big mouthpiece. I mean, certainly if you prep this thing, and I've used a medium DV mouthpiece, it's certainly possible, no problem, to use the scanner with a 3D mouthpiece. Sometimes, and here comes tip number 4. Okay, so tip number 4, you got a lot of gold work in the mouth, or you've got a lot of really shiny ceramic restorations, and you know, my prime scan is not locking up and I can hear it, so it doesn't change the volume and it doesn't change the cadence. I know it's not capturing it. Sometimes when things are too shiny, the teeth are too wet, they're too glittery, take some of the powder and powder it down a little bit. It just gets rid of the shine and it gives you a nice reflective surface. So, you know, it's really super easy. So that's tip number 4 or tip number 5. Once you've got the Isolite in the mouth, here's tip number 6 for you. Once the Isolite is in the mouth, dry everything off. And you know what? It just stays dry. You get a much cleaner scan that way. There's no bubbles, and it's really easy to look at your screen while you're scanning. You don't have to look. Oh, here's another tip. Look at your screen when you're scanning. We're used to working in the mirror, so you don't have to see directly in the mouth. Look at your screen. You can see what you need to pick up and what you don't need to pick up. And then sometimes, if you're using the Isolite, you can leave the light on, you can leave the light off. Sometimes certain machines will scan better with the light on. I know early on, my Blue Cam was fabulous, and I left the light on all the time. It scanned better with the light on. My OmniCam scanned pretty good with the light on too. Even the Prime Scan scans with the light on. But you'll know, and you're going to have to experiment a little bit to decide whether or not to leave the Isolite light on or even the room light on for scanning. Sometimes if it's just too light, things don't scan as well.
Awesome. So from an operational perspective, it makes it a lot easier to gain access to the arch, keeps everything nice and dry. So use a smaller mouthpiece so that you can retract the lips, use a little Vaseline on the back of the scanner, if I understand correctly, so it slides around. It'll work with any of this digital scanning systems. So
any systems, You
have to kind of experiment. So the tip is experiment with your lighting to see which way your system does the best scan.
Exactly right, because if you've got too much light in there, sometimes the scanner just doesn't pick up. It's hard to pick it up. Here's another tip. If your scanner's not scanning and it seems to be staggering and hiccuping between scans, close your whole case out and start all over again, because you've got too much information. You've overclogged your system. You've overloaded your system. I mean, that happens to me on occasion. We learn after a while. But gear up, Telepathy says this is going to be state of the art. Well, state of the art right now, but it's going to be widely accepted, and this is the way impressions will be. I don't think they're going to teach physical impressions any longer in dental school in another 5 or 10 years. I just don't think so.
And then I especially like use a little bit of powder if things are too shiny or it's not picking it up because of your restoration. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hirsch. Really appreciate that. Those of you who are joining us and watching, really appreciate. If you like this content, please share it. Please ask us if you have any questions or if there's anything that you'd like Dr. Hirsch to cover. And we will see you again next Tuesday at 10 with Dr. Tom for his tips.
I want everybody to kind of stay tuned, because next Tuesday, the following Tuesday, we're going to switch gears a little bit. Even though it's going to be Tom's tips, it's just going to be in a little different direction. So stay tuned. I'm not spilling the beans, but stay tuned for a slightly different direction that I think everybody's going to find really exciting.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Everybody, be safe. God, be safe. Stay protected. I mean, a lot of these idiots don't know what the dickens they're talking about out there. Use your own best judgment. Cover up. Be safe. Spray down. Keep your room sterile. Keep you sterile. That's it. What do I have to say? We're done.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Take care, everybody. Thank you for joining us. See you. Bye.